Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about me being very triggered right now, and have been since, I don't know, past few days, but especially today. And these are triggered about really bad memories going back to my childhood. I'm not going to go back that far, but I'll tell what's going on now. And it was a few days ago. Adam was on the phone, and I was busy doing something, and he was in the master bedroom watching TV when they called. When this person called, I was in the busy in the rest of the house. And then I went in there later on. I said, "Who were you on the phone with?" Because I thought maybe it was his family. And I just asked him, and no big deal. And we've known one another over 40 years. We met and married over 40 years ago. But, so he told me it was his friend. Well, he reconnected with his friend. I don't know. I think they had one of their phone numbers and all that. But then when his niece went to university, his friend lives in that same town. Okay, I should say that suburb and mid-city actually. Anyway, he reconnected with him. He went to his house, all this stuff. Well, that was the person he spoke to, and this guy, basically, this in my culture, this is extremely rude. Is to invite yourself to somebody's home, and basically his friend was, trying to say that he wanted to come see, Adam, come to Adam's house, visit with his family, his wife and his family. His children, from what I understand, are adults, and he's older than Adam, I think. Anyway, and so Adam told me that. He said he wants to come over Sunday, which today is Sunday. So, and I just, this is kind of typical Adam. And I just, the way he put it was kind of like that he said he's going to come over Sunday. And I was triggered, man. I was big time triggered to, like I said, all the way to my childhood when I didn't know Adam. But the way my dad behaved about really not asking us, just telling us, or not even telling us, not asking us, not telling us. And by us, I mean my siblings and I have 4 siblings. I have 4 siblings. So there's 5 of us. He would just have people to come over, We had no clue, and we were raised, now to get this mix here, to be both polite society, yet you did not allow, you being Texan, and I'm not saying all of Texas, but where I grew up, you didn't take crap off of people. Okay? And that's a strange mix right there. Being polite society and, that. And, not taking crap off of anybody. So, trust me, it is. I'm going to do a little short, I think, about that. But, or another video, we'll see. But anyway, Adam had me triggered. And then the big reason why I start off with was because, we've had this argument ever since I've known him. Not since I've known him, after we started seeing when we worked together, as it was, and that's how we met. We worked together, and then we started seeing one another and all that. But anyway, was the first time I met his friends. And I've mentioned before, Adam grew up in a country across the globe, and English is his second language. And I'm not going to mention the country, and I'm not going to mention the language. But he and his friends were speaking. I was at his house, his apartment. I know it was a house he was renting. And I was there, and his friends came over, And he didn't tell me his friends were coming. I don't think so. Because this is typical now. You know, and like I said, recently said more about that people just invite themselves over, or invite somebody like his sister did, to have her adult daughter come and stay with us 2.5 years ago. You know, she didn't stay the whole time, but still, that whole thing is extremely rude in my culture. Extremely. You know, in case you're wondering, I'm white, American Texan, okay? And I know not all whites and American Texans, you know, are like this, but come on, yeah. You know, you don't just invite yourself over. That's rude. You don't invite somebody to come stay with you just because they're family without asking your permission. And we have the right to say no. But his family, oh man, but that's not the only thing they do. If they can get away with it. I mean, they're going to get away with it if they want to or not. Whether I want them to or not. But they speak their language. They may all speak English. All of them speak English. But they're going to speak their language because, as Adam tells me, it's rude in their culture if they don't. Think of this problem. And it wasn't just me. It's not just me. Okay, now, to go back. Well, you know, I've known Adam. We met and married over 40 years ago. So not too many years after we got married, maybe a couple. The friend that he spoke to that wants to come over with his wife, that would be his second wife. Well, when he got married to his first wife was about 40-something years ago. And she's still alive. I don't know if she's still alive. But Hispanic. Okay, she's a Latina. And she speaks Spanish and English. Okay. But they get married and they have the marriage. I was there for their wedding, you know, while they got married. And then the reception. He was, you know, he's from the same country as Adam. His wife was, you know, Latina, spoke Spanish and English. But at the wedding, oh my goodness, the people that were from his side, his country, you know, same as Adam's, they all spoke their language. They all spoke English, but they refused to speak English. The other people spoke Spanish and English. They spoke English. Because, you know, like people like me that didn't speak either language but English. Okay? They were polite. Not Adam's. Oh, no, 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 no. You've got to know that it's rude in their culture. Well, at this woman's wedding, I mean, it's his too. But at her wedding, to be so rude to her, you know, then that is rude. To be rude to her at her own wedding, because their culture is most important. And I've had issue with that. I respect other people's cultures and all that, you know, and understand, you know, try to understand their heritage and all. But for somebody to be that disrespectful, no. You know, I don't respect disrespect. You know, this whole crap, you know, I've said this so many times over so many years, of people saying, you got to earn my respect. Yeah, you what, raising in a bunch of narcissists? Yeah. Earn your respect? Who in the world do you think you are? You give people respect, but when they do something, like in this, to take away from that respect for them, then you say they have to earn it back. Give respect to people for being human too, no matter what. That's my view. Some people, they want to raise a bunch of narcissists over their head, but you know, I really don't appreciate it. Okay, I was gonna go get us some chicken pot pies at KFC over here, and it's temporarily closed due to maintenance. Okie dokie. So I'll go to the other one. We'll see. Anyway, the other one I know least, where it is. Let's see if it's even going to be. That one's going to be open because it is early. It's 10:17. But anyway, I'm going to go to the back roads here. Okay. But so I'm triggered. Okay, very triggered. He's going to invite this guy over, and the thing about it is, our house is a disaster. I cannot do things like anymore, like dust. Seriously, and there's dust all over the place, and we always have dust. It's nothing unusual, but I can't dust, and because my allergies have only worsened as I've gotten older. Thought they went the other way, but no. And the last time I tried, I thought I was gonna die. Seriously did. Seriously did. So, you're still trying, huh? To learn how to parallel park. But that's the parallel park learning place. Anyway, seriously, for especially kids in school that are getting their, they only have their permit. But anyway, so this guy, it is, their wedding. It wasn't just his wedding. It wasn't just her wedding. But her family, the people that she invited that spoke Spanish also, they didn't speak Spanish. They know that that's rude. And they spoke English. Everybody there spoke English. That's a common language that was there. So why disrespect some people by doing that? But they don't care. And this has been that's been consistent. That was over 40 years ago. Any person I've met, and I have spent my whole adulthood, pretty much, around people who spoke various languages, were from various countries, and the people that I'm talking about, the people that I got to know, for the most part, they weren't, they weren't speaking English as first language people. So I know various cultures. My master's degree is in sociology. So it's all fine and good, and that's my thing, and I like it, and stuff like that. But to disrespect me, no other has, done something like that. So to disrespect me, to disrespect everybody else who was there, at this wedding, disrespect his own new bride, how rude. But to get past that, they could not get past, none of them, past that it's rude for them in their culture not to speak their language. So anyway, so he's going to have he and his wife and his children, adult children, to come over to the house. I'm tired. That's not happening. Especially after what happened with his niece that just recently left. He had kicked her out, but she had to come back and get her stuff, take care of, some business she was in, she had to do, and then she left the country and is not going to return. Okay. But I don't downplay now what she did. I never really downplayed it, but he does because of his loyalty. I can make a video. I want to make a video on that whole thing. I think we've all been through it before, so we can't judge what we've been through ourselves. Denial is a big part of that too. Okay, so anyway, get back to this. So Adam just told me that they were coming over on Saturday. And I said, I won't be here. He's like, okay. They have this fierce kind of loyalty. Well, I wouldn't. No way. It's not happening. I'm not going to be disrespected in my own home again. And that has, like I said, been consistent. Consistent with people he is around from his own country over all these years. Just totally disrespected. And he's so much into being, it's not that It is that he really doesn't notice it. He is so into what's going on with his friends and, all this stuff that even when we would go to their homes and all that, just disrespect. And like I said, it wasn't only me. Other people there who didn't speak that language, just sitting there going, wow, how disrespectful. It's not just me who says it's disrespectful. And it says it loud enough for them to understand, or to hear. Doesn't matter. The arrogance, they are known for their arrogance. It's a stereotype. Stereotypes are not good. But that's what one of theirs is, about their arrogance. And all of the ones I've known, they've been extremely arrogant. But when I was really young, like I said, over 40 years, I pretty much figured it out. It was that the people that could get a visa to come here, because it was not an easy thing to do. They were wealthy. They come from wealthy families, or at least one side of the family is very different. They're the 3-4 generations live in one home, and cousins live with them, and all this stuff. Somebody could afford it. Somehow, some way, somebody was affording them to come to this country, and because the exchange was of money, dollars to theirs, was so crazy, unbelievable, and unbelievably high. So anyway, you had to have money, and they came from, say like upper middle class and higher, and they just had an arrogance, total arrogance. I never met anything other than that. Never. That's over 40 years, and I'm not saying they would all be that way. I just might not have had the luxury of meeting ones who did not disrespect people and have that arrogance about them. Never. Seriously. I've mentioned this about Adam's, his family, how they see themselves as so higher than everybody else, that they're way up on the totem pole and everybody else is beneath them. And they are so smart, and they are so this, and they are so that. But it wasn't just his family. So, triggered, very triggered. I'm not dealing with this again. No way. And his whole thing, Adams, is, and this is not just in this kind of thing, in anything, he's got some kind of disconnect going on there. Because I'll say, you didn't ask me, you didn't tell me this. And he will act as though I should have known, because he knows. I'm not kidding. Over 40 years I've known him. And of course I say, that might not be all that there is to it. In his country, and a lot of the countries that I've been dealing with in my adulthood, women aren't thought of as the same. Well, when I was a student at university, the statistics were still the same since 1956, I think it was, that women here earned only, I think it was 59, 60, or 61, in between those, cents per male dollar. So we can't really say, here in America, we can't really, United States, can't really say we were much different. Then they suddenly bumped it up to 76. 8 years ago, they were talking so much about that. I don't know who came up with that, but anyway, it was consistent here. But there, the women are not thought of. They're thought of as 50% of that of the male, and the male, they have to ask male's permission to go places, and any big decision they have to ask a male in their family, or if not their spouse, in their family. So they have an attitude about women. And I've known this. I've known this. And remember, I was one that grew up here in the Texas, United States, and heard things like these women, when it was, the unemployment was high, these women need to stay home and let us men get our jobs. They're not your jobs. And no, we don't have to stay at home. Although I did a video, I put it on a different channel that's about, women need to be careful. Yeah, you don't want history repeating itself when women, it was mainly middle class and higher, weren't allowed to work if they were married. And those who were working weren't going to have high-level positions. The corporation had two employees. The spouse, when they hired a man, had two employees. Him and his wife was supposed to do everything to make sure he got to work and he could work overtime and keep the home fires burning and the food in the kitchen, and gotta be careful, people. Seriously. So I've dealt with this. I've dealt with, like that doctor, his doctor who told, Adam could speak freely, but I had to only answer in one-word sentences. I think it was the second time, and I'd hardly said anything to him the first time. The second time, he says this, Mister, I got you invited two young women in there, interns, and I let him have it, verbally let him have it. Very nice and polite, though. Like I said, I was raised polite society, but you don't take crap off of anybody. I got that down pat. I was young. So anyway, then yesterday, I said, I'd already decided what I was going to do. I was going to go and rent a hotel room because of my edema. I can't sit in the car how long they would be there, or SUV. I want nothing to do with anybody from his country. No, anybody he would know. To come in my own home and disrespect me. And I know that would be the score. It's always been the score. So I can pretty much, tell from history what it's going to be like. I'm like, I'll go rent a hotel room, kick my feet up, and just relax, watch some TV. Screw that. Disrespect, because, like I said, from my edema, I can't sit down in a car for that long, my SUVs for that long. So I'd go and do that. Screw it all. Have a relaxation away from home. Let him handle all of it, Okay, and handling it all. We first bought the house just over 20 years ago. Maybe it's more than almost 25. We used to have a lot of dinner parties. Like I said, I was raised polite society. We'd have dinner. My parents would have dinner parties, and we had to, as children, we had to behave. They had the mentality children are supposed to be, well, my dad did, seen and not heard. And And another memory that it triggered was about, I'd say, maybe as long as 15 years ago. The whole situation around it, I don't remember, but I think that the situation I don't remember, but this part I'm not sure of either, was that I think his friends just invited themselves over. And like I said, it was a man and a woman, I think, could have been their child too. They just come over. My culture, you don't do that. Well, I can't say that 100%. But so, and there was some situation going on, and they go and they sit in the living room, have a discussion, bring out the bowl of fruit and all this, and tea and everything. And usually, I was the one doing this stuff. Okay, and wow, when I think back. But anyway, I had gotten to where, you know, it was like, no, I'm not dealing with this. And I went into another room. Okay. And I'd already met them before, which was weird. And I went into another room, and it was the office. But now I changed into where I watch TV and all that. And but it was the office then. And the guy, it was a married couple. At some point, the guy just came into the front room where I was, just walked on in. And it's a small room. It's, you know, it was an office. And he just walked in, and he looked at me and said, awful cushy setup for someone who's just the maid. Oh, man. You know, again, like I said, I was raised polite society, yet don't take crap off of anyone. So I don't remember my response. But boy, did I jump at him after that and said, you told them this? He said, well, you know him. That was not the same friend, by the way. He said, you know that guy. He's just obnoxious like that. He's just saying that to rile you up. And blah, blah, blah. Well, Adam's first response should have been to call the guy and say, you know, hey, why did you say that to her? That's extremely rude. And I am not just a maid. Like I said. Oh, man, the people. And the interesting thing of them is that they were of a different, that they grew up in the same country, but of a different culture. But that, yeah. Okay, that woman had on way, way, way too much perfume. You know, and with my chemical allergies, that's not a good thing. I think my SUV smells of it too. Oh, man. Whew. Especially perfume and dyes. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so like I said, this is okay. I cannot see if I can go. I can go. Yes. So this guy, you know, that's not the same guy, and we haven't seen that guy since then. Either one of them. I think maybe one more time that we did, and Adam didn't tell me. I don't know if they just invited themselves as usual, but I wasn't dressed for it. I don't know what had happened. You know, was I taking a shower or whatever? But I remember going to the laundry room trying to find a bra. Basically, that was it. I didn't have a bra. And I couldn't find one in the laundry room, you know, washed or in the basket or something. And it was so embarrassing. So I wasn't going to go out there, and I didn't know what to do. And I think I got a jacket or something and just walked around the block, and I was fuming. How dare these people just do that? Invite themselves over, just, you know, or whether Adam just didn't tell me. You know, and that whole thing of Adam wouldn't ask, is it okay with you? Because sometimes it would have been no. You know, and like him doing it this time. But then yesterday I asked him, and he said, I thought you were going to have them over. He said, no, I just said that they might come over. No, he didn't. He did not say might. You know, and I told him this morning, I said, you got to have me totally triggered. And I reminded him of how my dad was about these things. Which, like I said, maybe I'll make another separate video on that. Maybe one of those shorts. But, you know, to me, the whole thing all around, plus it triggers me because of his sister inviting her daughter to stay with us without asking us. Last minute, they all of a sudden, you know, let us know that she's got her plane ticket, you know, her ticket to come there. It's like, what the crap? What are you talking about? You know, Plus the way, and like I said, I don't downplay it. These women, knowing I have chemical allergies, his mother, 8 years ago, however long it was, and then her adult daughter did the same thing, filling the house with, chemicals, knowing that it could kill me. His niece, his sister's daughter, she did 3 times, over the 2.5 years. But like I said, the last time he kicked her out, and for more than just that, like he said, being the most self-centered, he was yelling at her. I was in that front room, and I heard over my TV, heard him yelling at her, "You're the most self-centered person I've ever known," and he kicked her out. I mean, it was not like he made her leave right then. His brother bought the ticket. Adam wanted nothing to do with her after that. He didn't want anything to do with her the whole 2.5 years, at all. Believe me, I know the difference in his attitude changed suddenly whenever it all started, and then it changed back basically after she left. What was it, 2-3 weeks ago? I don't even know. But to me, all around, this whole thing of not respecting me and my culture, and this is the thing that I've had to deal with all these years as an adult, is people who didn't respect my culture. They felt that it was all about their culture, and I'm not one of these bubettes, that think that it's only when in the United States you act like Americans. Which Americans? I'm not like the people who said you have to act like we do. Who are we? That's my question. Who are we? I was in a graduate course at university, and I studied both, with both sociology. Actually, I could have had 4 master's degrees at least, and worked on a PhD. And I got burnt out, and but I was with people who were starting to become counselors and those who were sociologists. So I had these 2 majors, big majors. I had more than 2 majors. It's a graduate student. It's not that normal, not that usual. But I was in the class with the ones who were studying to become counselors. They knew me as the sociologist. They know I'm working on my PhD, But anyway, one of them, she was just she was ignorant, and she came up to me and she said, "Well, they need to act like we do." I said, "I don't act like you do. We're both white." I don't know exactly what I said, but I'm not taking your crap. Like I said, polite society. I probably said something in a polite way, but let her know that who are you to say how people behave? Except for this. There are exceptions to, that. When somebody's disrespecting you, to me, at this point, I wash my hands of it. I don't want to have anything to do with him. I didn't want to have anything to do with his niece. And he would tell me every once in a while, "Be nice to her." I said, "I've never been mean to her, but she's been disrespectful toward me." Because I've got to make a whole video on that. And we've all been through it at some point. If you've been around in a dysfunctional family, or been around, I'll just leave it there. But no. So he told me yesterday they're not going. He said they might. And I said they might. Well, if they come, I'm leaving, because I'm not putting myself dead squirrel, poor squirrel. That would be me putting myself, allowing myself to be disrespected. But it's also saying I'm snubbing you because you're disrespectful. Polite society. But the reason I'm talking about this polite society is because, like I said, I've started mastering that. How to let them know, but still be polite. Yeah. But it isn't that easy. You know, you don't take crap off of anyone, but polite society, they are two different things.